the ID copies, the SPA, everything. Then the buyer said, okay, they agreed to pay the insurance, the logistics, and then the seller said, no, after selling that, paying that, I'll bring myself to your destination. Okay. When the seller sent the quotation, the quotes, it was 40 million US dollars.
Mhm.
Is that fair?
To me, it's 50-50. I would not believe it. Why? I'm gonna give you a reason, Alti. When does buyer say, I'll buy full CIF, the buyer is going to leverage. The buyer is going to launder. Why he's going to leverage? He doesn't have 40 million. He's going to pretend that he has $40 million. Now, the gold is taxable, you must remember. Mm-hmm.
No. That one was not a full CIF. It was that the man has to pay, the buyer has to pay. Is that why when the codes come, it was supposed to, the buyer has to pay that amount.
Okay.
So that when he comes, everything is gonna be. They will finish everything at the South African refinery.
No, Alti.
But
Alti, I'm gonna stop you that. I would not believe on that. I would rather encourage the buyer to start a trial, because the buyer has to build his credibility to us, especially to my head office. His 40 million just stand by in his bank account. I rather advise the buyer to start a trial, even 20, in order for him to build his credibility. Then that is the time he can say, okay, my second shipment, I want tons of gold. Because the seller has his own customer. He has to allocate every month. So there is no way that the 40 million would be consumed. I rather explain to the buyer, your buyer, that come for interview with Wilhelmina, I would like to listen on his narrative, because that buyer might be bluffer. Yeah? You don't know the language of this business.
The buyer was not a bluffer or whatsoever. It is even myself. I question the mandate of that man, and even that seller. I'm still talking to him from that day. He didn't. I personally asked the seller. Said, my brother, look, how can the insurance and the logistic comes to 11 million US dollars? That's quite ridiculous. It is unacceptable.
Okay, let's say, I'll give you an example.
Look, to insure. And another thing, look, I ask you, why should a buyer insure something that he doesn't own?
Okay.
If something happens on the plane, the gold got lost, who's going to claim the gold?
Okay.
You are the buyer. He does not own. He has not.
No, let me, I'll stop that question of yours. Very simple. When the buyer start a trial, right? Because this is not CIF, this is FOB, bank to bank. If the buyer, let's say you are a buyer, Alti, assuming it's a Wilhelmina, I have 40 million to spend it, okay? I wouldn't believe it. I just rather discourage you. Start a trial before you're gonna spend your 40 million. Because that 40 million, impossible. The buyer cannot cater. And the seller cannot cater as well because the seller has his own existing customer. So, we will allocate every week, every month until you're gonna spend your 40 million. Being a buyer, I'm using you being a buyer, assuming, right? I'm gonna tell you, okay, Alti, your 40 million, it's impossible. I would rather advise you to start 20 or 100
Of
kilos.
course, you see, now you speaking as a sense, but now when the seller says no, I can do it.
I don't think
And
so.
I can even even if I can check my if it doesn't, it's not
He's
easy.
deceiving
I can
you.
even send you.
He's deceiving you.
Yeah, I can even send you that SPA. That was, and it was 500 every month, 650 first tranche every month, 500 for 12 months. It was just like that.
Well,
And
the seller can supply that. Yes, Mali is the tons of gold. They have tons of gold. But to me, being the extensions of the seller, I can put you buyer, you as being a buyer assuming, I can put you in Mali, but I would not encourage you to start 500 kilos. I wouldn't. I will encourage you to start a trial, taste the gold to KMR or DNGM, and then you will be satisfied. Because when you taste the gold to DNGM, because DNGM and KMR are amalgamated, they are now partner. KMR is the Italian group of company. They are there in Mali. Their refinery is 500 meters away from International Airport. Okay? I've been to Mali last year. So, you're gonna say, I want 500 kilos. I would start to wonder. I rather personally advise you start a trial so that you can build your credibility to my seller. My seller have tons of gold. I have the SKR, but I would not release the SKR at all to you if you're a buyer. Why? I need to scrutinize your background because you're gonna use my SKR to float around. This is the instruction of my seller. I have the SKR. The SKR in Mali, the SKR in Sierra Leone and Conakry, I have, but I would not release it until I'm satisfied your credential. Your credential must be convincing enough for me to tell my head office, okay, I have validated this buyer, right? Let us proceed. Then we will send the buyer a letter of confirmation and the contract. Then the buyer and the seller will contact each other. The buyer has to travel to meet. We don't ask you upfront money. We don't. You have not seen the gold. So why are we going to ask you upfront? So you need to travel to inspect your order based on the contract. Now, because I'm going to charge you my extra service in order to assist you, our selling price less 8%, tax included. So if I'm going to travel,
your sales how much?
Okay, our selling price less 8%, tax included. So
Okay, yeah, but
this is FOB. This is not CIF, cost, insurance, and freight. So you don't need to pay the tax because it's already packaged. We give you a discount, you get the profit. But when you take the gold out to South Africa because you are a buyer, assuming you say that your buyer is from South Africa, so your buyer has to pay the logistic and he needs to insure to the logistic because whatever happened to the gold, the buyer can run after the logistic because the logistic will ship it on his behalf. Right. That is the reason why you guys failed to do the transaction because you were not being guided properly. Mhm. That is the
No,
reason.
no, no. We can't. As a seller, he's the man who's supposed to.
No,
He's got a
no.
he's got a mandate in South Africa. He's got a mandate in South Africa, and we went through the mandate. We have been doing it through the mandate of who is in South Africa.
The mandate didn't understand. I'll give you an example. Okay? Now you are talking sensible. I'll give you an example. Here in Australia, our tax is 10%. Anything you buy plus government sales tax. Okay? I went to the parlor to cut my hair plus government sales tax. I buy groceries plus government sales tax. In South Africa, when you walk into the shopping center, plus VAT, valued added tax. I don't know how much is your valued added tax. I'm just giving you an example here. I'm based in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. No matter what price I'm going to buy, the receipt, they wouldn't tell me this is the tax. They just add the GST and I pay in total. Buying gold, exactly the same. I was the one who packaged it. I told my seller, this is what you're gonna do. You give the buyer a discount because the buyer needs a profit. We will sell this less 8%, tax included. And then when you resell the gold, 2%.
But sometimes you need to say the exact amount, like 45 US dollar, 45,000 US dollar, 48, 49.
We will see that. We will see that when I see the buyer. Our selling price, okay, on 8% today, the gold is down. Okay, today is January 25. The gold is down, which on the world market is 754.77. We give your buyer 8%. So your buyer has a profit of 5,180 per kilo if he's going to resell it. Our selling price is $59,000, 574.38 on 8%. So if he's gonna resell it to 2% to the refinery in South Africa, that is his business. That's not our business. We give him a discount of 8%. Selling price is 59,574.38. Now, because you are going to use Wilhelmina's services, right? Instead of 8%, I might consider to give you 13 to 14%. Why? Because I'm charging you my services. In return, I'm going to throw back the 6% back to you. So therefore, if I'm giving you 13% or 14%, our selling price is 55,689 per kilo. Does that make sense, Toti?
It's 50 what?
55,000. If the buyer convince me, because I am the gatekeeper, I am the extension of the seller, I have the voice, I have the power to reject you if you don't meet the criteria. I have. So I need to travel with you in order to take you in the office, but my services is not for free. It's not. When I travel from Australia to Africa, I do charge my travel cost. In return, I'm going back to give you a good percentage of 14% instead of 8%. Right. 14% minus 8%, I've given you back 6%. But if you deal with too many broker, your buyer's mandate didn't understand what he's doing. He's only look after himself. He's not looking after his buyer. I do. I do look after the buyer and I do look after my seller. So in reality,
to that buyer, I'm straight to him. Straight to him. There's no one in between myself and the buyer is it's me and him.
Yeah. So tell
You
your
see, I'll
buyer's
talk
mandate.
exactly to him. Is
Mhm.
That's why I said, but that's why I want to give you the credit where it deserves. And I just want to, since we have started talking this, you have never said that the seller was wrong or was right. This is what I just wanted to know, whether the seller was right. But according to me, the seller was not fair at all.
No, I think both buyers and sellers has misunderstanding. Okay? African seller, when this knew that there is a buyer, he is excited. Okay? I know. I study the behavior of African seller. Okay? That's why I teach them, I reform their behavior, their business culture. They have no idea. Once you're gonna say, "Oh, I'm the buyer," they're excited. Okay, pay taxes. We will send the gold to South Africa. Wrong. That is wrong. Why? The government would not give certificate of clearance without receiving the payment in order to reflect the cash inflow. Your mandate have no idea. The seller would not explain to you like this. Not. No, they wouldn't. I'm the one educating you right now. This is live conversation that we have. Yeah. No one is advising the buyer's mandate. He just think about his commission. You would not get commission unless both buyers and sellers understand each other. That is the reason why I have to interview the buyer, or whether you're a mandate or he has a mandate. I need to make sure that the mandate is not wasting my time, because time is money. You understand that, Altis? You understand
Yes,
that?
I understand. But,
Just like when you apply for a job, you bring your resume. I am interviewing you right now live because I want to know whether you are really serious or not. Mhm.
no, but you know, in everything, a reality is always good. Unlike, you know, the the South African sellers. First of all, once he will ask you what is the name of your buyer. For what? Why is he wanting to know the name of the buyer?
Okay. Maybe he's excited.
That's how inhuman they are now.
No,
First thing they think of circumventing now.
No one will circumvent. I will not circumvent you. This is how you do the proper business. The buyer has to send a formal letter of interest coming from the buyer. Dear Mr. So-and-so, or dear Mrs. Ford, I hereby apply to purchase 100 kilos. My requirement is 23 carats. My requirement is 97 purity. The mode of payment CIF. Right under, you're gonna be rejected. Why we gonna give you for credit? Gold is cash. Gold is money. If you don't know how to convince Wilhelmina, you will not get the job. You're applying to buy. You're buying $500,000 here. Why we gonna give you our gold for nothing? Just paying cost, insurance, and freight? Huh? How about paying the gold? The government would not give you certificate of clearance. Yeah. Where is the cash inflow receipt that you pay the gold to the seller's bank account? There is no way you can get the gold. That is the reason why your buyer's mandate failed. Yes. Just a few hours ago, I was talking to a friend of mine. He said to me, "Wilhelmina, this buyer lost 300,000 euro." Why? He was asked to pay taxes. Wrong. Why you gonna pay taxes? You have not seen the gold. You have not tasted the gold. Why you gonna pay taxes? You only pay the tax when you see the gold. But we don't ask you to pay taxes because our selling price tax included except shipping cost and insurance. You got my point here,
This
Alfie?
is this is what I when I said I spoke to that man direct to the seller. Now I told him, my brother, look, uh, he's gold, they agreed with 46,000 US dollars.
Oh,
I told him that, no, why can't you make your kg a 49, making everything inclusive, so that you pay you. I think it's very wrong to say I'm a South African saying come and pay the Kenyan taxes for what? It is your company that's like, they must tax you, they must tax you, not me.
well, our selling price tax included. That's it. Full stop. You pay the gold, included the tax, except logistic and insurance. Simple as that. There is no more but, there is no blah blah. You want to buy? Here's our price, $55,000, which is 14% less because I have to travel with you.
I'm still gonna talk to. At this long time, I didn't talk to him because but
Don't worry, I will give you a copy of our conversation. Don't worry.
Talk to him. Put the CC with you so that you talk and then understand.
He's not really well educated, probably. He's just excited.
So,
yeah. If I'll give you 8%.
No. And what you say, he also suggested that he, on the very same deal, he suggested that he wanted to start with 50 kg.
Okay.
Kg, so that to build the relationship good. But the seller said, no, you can any amount of, I do have gold. I don't have any amount of gold you can say. They wanted. They said, no. And previously they agreed about 200 as the start. And then, but at the end, like when he promised that, no, he got everything, that guy said, no, if you can give me about 650.
Okay, to make it short, the conversation. Okay, the seller expect the buyer to send a formal letter of interest called the L.O.I. Attention to Wilhelmina. Why? Because Wilhelmina will screen the buyer. I am the extension. I have the voice to say yes or no, and I have the voice to reject. So therefore, the letter of interest called the L.O.I. must be attention to Wilhelmina. Must be. Or else you wouldn't get the gold. Full stop. There is no F, there is no but. Just like as I mentioned to you a few minutes ago, when you apply for a job, you need to have a resume in order for the manager to look at your background. I am also interviewing you and the mandate, the background of the buyer. But if you're scared to reveal your buyer, therefore, you are not performing your job. You will not be accepted. Reject. That is the reason why. If you mention my name,
but I think,
yeah, go ahead.
I think one day you told me, don't reveal your buyer to anyone. You told me that.
No, meaning to say, lot
of scammers. This is what you told me.
No. I think you misunderstood the simple conversation. Okay? If you were talking to a lot of brokers, you don't know who is your buyer. You don't know. You're scared. Why? Because that's their convention of the commission. The buyer expect to pay his own mandate. We don't pay double commission, you must remember. Why? Because once we give the discount, there is no profit margin of the seller. So if you deal with too many chain of joker broker, I called you guys joker. We don't do business like that. Mhm. We prepare to deal directly to the buyer, and you come to Wilhelmina, you will be paid as referral fee coming from Wilhelmina, not coming from the seller, because once we give the buyer a discount, buyer will get the profit, not you guys. Mhm. Our selling price less 8%, you must remember. $59,000 per kilo. And then you're going to say, oh, too expensive. Well, you are buying expensive item. So therefore, it's very expensive. You are buying world asset.
So when you pay that, how many percentage?
Well, we will discuss it. Why you going to ask percentage? You don't know he's your buyer. Let your buyer come to...
Because,
no.
Yeah, because
you are wasting my time.
Look, Wilhelmina, every single day we are working with this
well, you are just fishing around, Alte. No.
Yeah, most of the deals is 3%. 3%. No.
Go for it. Go somewhere else.
3,000.
No, go somewhere else.
3,000.
We don't. We give the buyer a discount. You are not putting money. Why you gonna ask big commission? Are you crook? The buyer putting money, the buyer putting his business on risk. That is the reason why the buyer cannot get the gold, because too many chain of joker broker. The buyer is putting money into his business. You are not putting money. You are running around. Let me finish, Alte. I'm gonna stop you. You're running around collecting information. You guys landed to Wilhelmina. Why? I'm the only person put everything online, and then you're gonna ask how much is my commission? The buyer is responsible paying.
No. I was just wanting to know, since I hear that you pay the commission, so I would like to know what percentage.
And there is no profit margin of the seller. The buyer is winning. The seller is giving away for nothing. No.
Yeah, look, and to tell you true again, when you approach someone right now, when you approach someone from the buyers, they will tell you how much is percent commission.
No, I'll reject you right now. I'm going to reject you.
No, that is a normal practice, because most of
the seller hired Wilhelmina to market it. We are trying to remove all the time waster. To be honest with you, we are now on the global village. We are now on the social media. We advertise. I don't need chain of joker broker. I don't. However, I welcome everyone. If your buyer is real, you will be compensated a referral fee. Okay? The company hired Wilhelmina because the company also sick and tired dealing with time waster. You are just running around online. We are now on the social media. We advertise that we are here to do business. The company hired Wilhelmina to handle. This is my office. This is my virtual office. You're talking to Wilhelmina. And then you come to Wilhelmina, how much is my commission? I wouldn't. I'm going to reject you. Yes. Because the buyer would not get the gold because of too many middlemen. At the end of the day, there is no profit. I don't chase buyer. I tell the world that we are here to do business. And I tell the world we have the gold. It's up for the buyer to make a decision. I don't force anyone to buy because the buyer knows how to search. He has a phone, he has a laptop, he's connected with the internet, and he can go to social media, search on YouTube, search on Facebook. He will find the real seller, which is us. You got me now? So I'm the one who put the Africa. I'm the one promote Africa to the world. My face is everywhere. My video is everywhere. I'm telling that this is the way you buy gold in Africa. Africa has been savage with so many scrupulous broker, scrupulous seller, and also scrupulous seller. Yes, vice versa. I'm the one trying to stop this scrupulous. Africa is the main source of supply. The sellers have a hard time dealing with so many chain of joker broker. That's why they hired me. Yeah, but my services is not for free. But anyway, Alti, we don't talk too much. And I will give you a copy of our conversation. This is live. And you have to listen. You might learn out of our conversation. I'm just interviewing you something that your buyer didn't meet the criteria.
No. You were just
Anyway, nice talking to you. I will give you a copy. You will hear our conversation on my YouTube channel and on my Facebook. This is for everyone, that you have to follow the golden rules of the country. Okay? You will never get the transaction successful if there's so many broker in one buyer. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant good evening, Alti. You can hear our conversation on my platform.